What's the Car Talk podcast?
Hello and welcome back to the Car Talk podcast, a show where we talk about the latest car news and transportation opinion. We've got a returning guest this month, and it's Harry from Car Culture, which is the same channel that we do, Harry, isn't it?
Indeed, it's good to be back. I mean, I don't know how many of the viewers on this podcast will know who I am or recognise who I am. If you don't, I've been on a couple of the specials, the Christmas special and the Scotland special, and otherwise I'm usually just behind the camera.
Well, yeah, you're sort of now the new co-host, aren't you? And
Yeah.
occasional episodes.
Slowly getting
controversial.
Controversial.
Anyway,
Yeah,
also
slowly.
Joining me this month is, of course, Matty, my other co-host, the main co-host. How you doing, Matty?
I'm good, mate. Obviously, we're doing, as you'll explain, a sex appeal Valentine's Day love podcast. I'm pleased to say that tonight, Matthew, I've slipped into my sexy dressing gown, the sexiest of numbers, because I'm a little bit beneath the weather this month, but I'm here. We're doing it. The podcast.
Yes.
It's on.
It's on. Does that mean you're not coming on then? So as Matty mentioned, we're doing like a Valentine's Day theme. I know this probably will come out at the end of the month, but we're filming it the day after Valentine's Day, which makes total sense.
Coming out the end of the month, but we're filming it at the time of the month.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Wait, no, sorry.
Well, with that said, let's start with the car news, lads. Matty, do you want to start us off with anything interesting this month?
Yes, avid viewers will remember that last month I was very pleased to tell you some good news about the Ford Motor Company, and that was that the Halewood plant has been chosen to be the electric car powerhouse. That was obviously great news for the North, but now it's bad news for the UK. And Ford are responsible for this because they are cutting 1,300 jobs. So sorry about that. Anyone else got any news?
Well, I did see that headline as well, Matty, and that is a bit unfortunate, obviously, especially for the UK market and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of sucks. But anyway, moving on. I've got another headline for you guys. And I normally don't do headlines. Matty's sort of the boss of the headlines.
The clickbait
the
guy. Yeah.
You are. But I thought I'd switch it up a bit this week, mainly because I couldn't find any other car news. But this was also quite intriguing for me. That's why I chose to write it down. But basically, General Motors, I don't know if you've heard about this, Matty. General Motors are spending a total of $864 million on a new small block V8.
Oh.
Jesus.
Which is quite cool. And obviously has some controversial around it, obviously moving.
I'd say it's
into
very
the times.
surprising considering everyone's moving to electric. Why is that, if you do know?
I mean, I don't know why, but I assume it's going to go into like the big pickup trucks in America and stuff like that. And obviously, a lot of those pickup trucks work in harsh conditions like snow and desert and stuff.
That's
so
true.
I don't know if the electric power would be, as good for that.
Imagine you're in the snow on a mountain and you just run out of battery.
Exactly.
Mate, did you bring the portable charger? Oh, fuck, I forgot to charge it.
The big portable charger brick.
The coldest
Just a
way is for the
massive
battery
brick.
as well. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, I think Teslas, they have to, warm themselves up internally, don't they?
They do. Yeah. You have to, before you get in it.
On them as well.
You have to warm it up, which again does more of the battery life, which is really frustrating.
Stupid.
Any bit of news, Matty, that you've got? Anything else?
Yes, absolutely not interested in this piece of news either. It's the BMW iVision D, spelt D-E-E, concept. It's been revealed, and it looks like some sort of obscure Korean brand has released a concept car. It looks nothing like a BMW.
I sent you this, didn't I? Did I send you this before?
Did you?
On Instagram,
Oh
I
my
might have sent
god,
you.
that is so ugly.
Not spoke to you on Instagram today, so I don't think so. But
No, this was when it was announced a couple of weeks ago, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's carry on.
You want to know more about the I thought was just going to be I'm not interested. But seeing as it's a BMW, it's the future of BMW. It's been called. It's
not.
been. I know. Yeah.
I know.
Well, I don't like the presents BMWs, to be honest. What we've got at the minute. So I mean, if you thought it couldn't get any worse, it has. Yeah. It's going to have colour changing paint, which they call e-ink technology. It's going to be very artificial intelligence focused.
Obviously.
But you will be able to get it in 32 colours. I'm running out of things to say, trying to find out what sort of powertrain it's going to have.
You know what they'd do? They'd probably charge you extra to be able to change the colour of your car.
Subscription.
Probably,
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go to blue, you need to pay £300 more a month.
It's funny you should mention that, actually. There's like the subscription stuff, because that is actually now sort of heading towards the car market. If you notice, Mercedes announced that I don't know what it was to do with the car, but they're announcing a subscription-based thing to do with their new Mercedes cars.
Yeah.
And I think that's to do with like the I don't know if it's the center console, like this thing, the tech and stuff like that, or if it's to do with the power, which would be really odd.
Yeah, I know some cars, they like restrict power and like certain features, and you have to pay a subscription to unlock them.
This is why the past is better.
You know what I just thought of? If this car can change colour, that'd be brilliant for drug dealers.
This is exactly what I thought as well.
Because imagine, right, the police coming after you, right? You turn a corner, change the colour of your car, park up. They won't be any of the wiser.
It's like a mobile pay-and spray.
Exactly.
It's like in the old Need for Speed days when you drive into a gas station and the car repairs itself, but also changes colour.
Yeah,
and it's
that is brilliant.
The police go, yeah, they're in a BMW. It's blue now, not white.
Oh, now it's pink. Oh God.
Anyway, moving on from the hideous BMW, I've got a new SUV, and it is the Mazda CX-60, has now been released. And it's a plug-in hybrid, and it's also a diesel. What do you think of this, lads? It looks quite...
I don't mind it, actually.
Quite nice, actually, I think. It's a bit of an odd one, though, because I didn't ever hear about it coming out or being announced. So they've done a pretty bad job on the marketing
for Mazda's
front.
biggest fan.
Mazda
Exactly, yes.
CX-60.
Yes. Obviously another SUV that we don't need, but it's there.
I do quite like it in red.
It looks like, I don't know, the face of it. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, but it's very like...
It reminds me of like a
Butch.
Mercedes a little bit on the front.
Yeah, I suppose
like
a little bit Mercedes there, as well.
Like with the headlights and the grille.
But it almost looks like very hench and beefy at the front, doesn't it? It looks
which is
quite cool.
Not what I'm used to when I hear the word Mazda.
No, very good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I am confused here. Is this not just the replacement for the CX-5?
Pretty
because
much,
it looks exactly like a CX-5.
I think it's a lot bigger though.
Is it?
Than the 6.5, yes. So it says sort of like higher, bigger version. Like, you know how the Mercedes do. Sorry, no, how BMW do the X7 and they have the X5 and then the X3. They sort of like they're one up from it. The CX-5, I assume. I mean, the interior is like very. I love Mazda interior, especially modern ones, because they're just so minimalist, but they're not too like just futuristic. They just got the modern stuff, all you need in there, and it's very plush. Yeah. That is the Mazda CX-60 that we never heard about coming out.
It's a hybrid, isn't it?
Yes, they're doing a hybrid and a diesel version.
Strange combination, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I assume the hybrid will be a petrol and electric.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Anything else, Matty, you've got?
Yes, onto TV shows. Do you remember Fifth Gear?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a surprise. So Fifth Gear has now been revived, and it's called something like E-Gear or something, but it's got the same sort of presenters.
But they only review electric cars.
And they only review electric cars. But the main thing to take from this, though, is that Vicky Butler Henderson is here. She's present, yeah, it's that's a good thing.
So I'm a bit disappointed there, Matty, because the amount of times we've invited her on the podcast, and then she just decides, without any invitation at all, I want to go on E-Gear.
I know, she won't come on. It's called Fifth Gear Recharged, actually. I winged it then when I said it was called E-Gear. But it sounds like a naughty biscuit, that done a naughty drug. But Fifth Gear Recharged. It's funny, that you should say that. Vicky won't come on our podcast that has absolutely no views, but instead she's decided to revive a show that didn't have any views either, and
exactly.
She's
and that's basically a rip-off of Top Gear, which is kind of what our channel is as well. Funny enough,
she's got to work with
no, Bailey. We can't say that, mate.
No.
Yes, of course.
Might be a bit controversial. The viewers don't.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Anyway,
and you're not teenagers anymore, so you must change. Oh yeah, you changed the name. That's it.
Yeah, we did. Don't worry. Way ahead of you.
ULEZ zone in London. We all know what this is because it's a burden on everyone's life, especially if anyone that lives in London, especially mine. And unfortunate news, it is expanding again in August
to the whole of London, basically, isn't it?
Pretty much, yes. It's pretty much the whole of London, and I assume one of the reasons is it's because they want no one to drive in London. They want everyone to walk or, I don't know, fucking skateboard or something.
And they want more money.
Exactly. But this is my problem with it. ULEZ it's a good idea if you think about it. Yes, you get rid of the emissions in the town centre, but actually it's a rubbish idea because it's not going to stop people going into London by car. It just means that people will have to pay for it, which is it's not really doing anything to the environment if you think about it.
I mean, I think it will reduce it to an extent, but
yes.
Like you say, like a lot of people that do drive into London drive in there for a reason. It's not that they're driving in there to go for like a small like shop or something, or to go to a restaurant,
or to deliver something,
or to just get the train. It's exactly. It's the people that are trying to like deliver things or trying to put things in their car that they can't just get on the train with. Like, you're not going to get on the train with your IKEA furniture, are you?
It's definitely a money move, and on the same token, it's come out this week that in between 2018 and 2022, councils spent 3.2 million on maintaining their speed cameras. So, it's definitely a money move, the ULEZ expansion. But
I say they do what France did, just set them all on fire.
Yeah, we need to protest like France. That's why this country is going to crap, because no one actually does anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't something like 2 million people in France recently turn out to a protest because they tried to rise the retirement age to whatever age? Like, their numbers are unbelievable. We'd never get them sorts of numbers in this country.
No. I mean, you might about like someone saying that non-binary people don't exist, but that's about it.
Controversial. Let's move on.
Which they don't, by the way. Let's move on. Matty, have you got any last news segments?
Yes. Have I done? I've got a couple more. I'll give you this one though.
Sure.
Hyundai, our favourite brand. They've told us that they don't identify. Speaking of non-binary people, they don't identify as Hyundai anymore. They call themselves Hyundai.
Yes, which is technically.
Seriously?
It's because I've seen that advert and it's like those people on their phone to Siri saying Hyundai, and it takes you to like Hi and Die or like a different shop, and then the person in the Hyundai is saying no, it's spelt Hyundai, and it's like it just isn't though, is it?
Well, yeah, it's like I don't know. It just says to follow global norm. But it's like a few years ago though, Skoda started calling themselves Skoda, and then like that faded away, and
it was like Dacia and Dacia.
Dacia, yeah, and Lidl started calling themselves Lidl for a few months, a few years ago.
And Nike with Nike and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's like the marketing team just get bored.
Yeah, maybe they
just kind
do.
of sit there around the table and go, I haven't got any ideas, have you? You go, should we just say our name differently?
Or should we identify it as something else?
Yeah.
Which is the same with people. Yeah, it's going with the trend. I want to talk about a new Audi. If it is an Audi, I don't know. Let's see what you guys think of it. It's called the Audi Active Sphere. It's a very interesting name, but basically, it's another one of those cars where the developers couldn't think what they wanted to do with it, so they said, let's do a mismatch of SUV, coupe, and pickup. So that's what they've done, and it's turned out as like a
moon buggy.
I was thinking more of an Apple Mouse, the new Apple Mouse, the wireless one.
Very good, yeah.
On wheels, it looks like that. I bet you have to charge it underneath the car as well.
Yeah, or you get like a little charging pad for it or something.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't actually hate it.
I don't hate it either. I think it's quite
kind of
funky.
like it.
Doesn't look like an Audi at all.
It doesn't. That's the only issue I have with it. And also the fact that it only has 4 seats in it. Somehow that has 4 seats only. But I think it's because of the amount of tech in it, and I've read, and it's got 4 VR headsets built in for some reason. Why would you want a VR headset inside this?
Wait, sorry, has it got 4 passenger seats or 4 seats including
4
the
seats
driver?
In total, I think. If you look at the interior view, if there is one, I can't really see, but there's literally a top view, and it's literally got 4 seats in the car. That's it.
Wow. So does that mean there's a VR headset for the driver?
There's a VR headset in each seat. And there's also, it offers autonomous driving and, as I mentioned, 4 separate seats. But I don't know, the interior is very, it's almost not really a car, it's sort of like a nice living space with a steering wheel in it. That's kind of what...
Or a gaming setup with all those
or
VR
a gaming
headsets.
setup, that's quite a good one. That's a good explanation. What do you think of that, Matty?
It looks good. I look forward to seeing Vicky's review on it on 5th Gear Recharged.
Of course.
But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I just don't know about the interior and all the VR thing. You know, that's kind of not really the point. The VR headset's good.
Technology in these cars is just getting too much for me. Maybe I'm just getting too old. Have you seen the new theatre screen that you can get in the back of BMWs now?
No,
it's basically like a big. I don't even know how
like a flat screen.
How like it like physics wise how it works, but it's basically just a screen the length of the end back seat to the other end, just going across the middle.
So you can't see through the middle of the seats then?
No, you can't. So it must fold out the roof or something.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this now. It's quite really interesting. Weird. It is kind of cool. Like, if you had kids, that'd be a brilliant way to distract them.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Everyone gets so bloody bored so quickly. I see what you mean. So it's sort of like on the top of the headrest and stuff at the back.
Yeah.
But I think it looks like it's fixed to the top of the roof, and then it sort of folds in the top of it. That makes sense.
So it does fold then, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just fixed on there. It looks very, well, I don't know. Would that be dead heavy, or there's a lot of...
Yeah, that'd be quite... I mean, that's a lot of tech in there, isn't it? It's a big piece of glass, and also all the components, right?
Yeah.
Have you got any more news, Matty?
One for me to end on is that I want to know, I'm intrigued to know actually which half used to fall into with this. It says half of drivers break rural 60 miles an hour speed limits. Are you in 100%.
Definitely, yes.
You see, I don't. I'm too scared. If like I drive down rural roads and it'll be like at like 50 miles an hour, and I'll be like, fucking hell, this road isn't suitable for 50. Like, I feel like doing 45. Like, I'm one of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm too scared. My.
It depends with the road for me. Like, if I go like a really sort of narrow, hedges either side sort of one, and it's a national, and then I sort of do like 40. But
if it's country road, I'm not going to be doing like 70 miles an hour down like a single track country road.
I've got one more piece of news. Well, it's not really news. It's more of a nice, interesting thing that I came across, an article, let's say. And it's basically, it's a bit of consumer advice as well, actually. It's every new car that you can still buy with a manual transmission. Now, as you know, obviously with the movement of electric cars and this sort of thing, we're obviously moving away from all the fully fledged manual with clutch gearboxes, which is a shame because that's the best sort of driving for me personally. And if you lads want to hear some of the cars that are actually in this list, I can go ahead and see. So these are all like brand new cars that you can buy with manual gearboxes, which I again found very interesting. So I'll start with non-alphabetically order, so I'll go from the lowest point. So a Volkswagen Jetta, a Volkswagen Golf, the new one, the new Toyota Supra, because that's coming out in a manual version, which is quite cool. The Toyota GR86, the new one, Toyota GR Corolla, the Subaru WRX, the new one, the Subaru Impreza, the new one, the Subaru BRZ, the Porsche 911, the Porsche 718 Boxster and Cayman, and also the Nissan Z, the Nissan Versa, the Mini Clubman, which is quite a surprising one actually, the new one.
Interesting.
And also the new hardtop Mini and convertible Cooper.
I'm not completely surprised of just like the Cooper.
No, that's fair enough.
That's a bit more of like a because the Cooper's more like a kind of a more fun car, you know. Like if it didn't have a manual gearbox, it wouldn't really be appealing.
Definitely.
To like its target market as much.
I agree with you. And my favourite one on the list, obviously, is the Mazda MX-5, and also the Mazda 3 on there as well. It's quite nice. The Kia Forte, the Hyundai Elantra, Honda Civic, the new Ford Mustang, Dodge Challenger. Actually, it was surprising because everyone in America drives an automatic. The Chevrolet Camaro, the Cadillac CT5V, the Cadillac CT4V, new M4 BMW, new M3 BMW, new M2 BMW, and lastly the Acura Integra.
So there are a lot of manuals coming out.
Yeah, so you know if you're a car guy and thinking, oh, there's not enough manual cars that are new. Here we go. There's probably 20 odd there that you could buy. It's probably not in your price range. So that is consumer advice from the Car
And
Talk
that's
podcast
what we're here for. Nice.
I've got nothing else news-wise. Have you got anything else, Matty?
No, I haven't got anything, but I did forget to mention, and this is very good news, that just today, on the day that we are filming this podcast, the Citroen Saxo is safe for another year. It's passed its MOT, no advisories, so I'm very happy.
Congratulations, Matty.
Thank you.
Congrats, yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
On the other hand, I had my MOT recently, and it failed because I didn't have any screen wash on it, and the fact that
idiot.
Well, it ran out the day before, which I didn't notice.
You've got to check your fluids, man.
It was kind of like a rush thing. But they failed it on that, and also the plate at the front of my car is too small, which I agree with, but I don't know how that affects the safety rating of it. And also the fact that the fog light at the back is white, which is again not my fault because it's an import car which originally didn't have a fucking fog light.
Wait, it failed because of a white fog light?
Yes. Basically, the bulb that I had in previously, all the red like coating on it, because it got so warm, it just came off it.
Oh, okay, I see.
But what I don't understand about the MOT thing is it failed on those things, and then the minors, like the minor stuff was oil leak, coolant leak, damage to the front fender and bumper, like because obviously I had a crash, and the fact that it has loads of rust. Okay, so that's makes sense. So it just shows you how
failed
corrupt
you
it is.
on the things that don't really affect the driving
anything
whatsoever.
at all in my life. Yeah, I never use a fog light. I probably use it once a year.
I mean, it's good they didn't fail you any other things. It was just easy things to fix, but
Exactly,
it's still
yeah.
ridiculous, isn't it?
It is, yes. And I'm going to have a video coming out very soon, in fact. I want to talk about what's happened with my car. And obviously I've mentioned it last month on the podcast. But I'm going to do a sort of update video on everything that's happened recently and what's going forward with my car. So stay tuned for that. Let's move on to this month's theme, lads, which obviously is it's a sort of a discussion regarding what's the best car to impress a girl. And I'm sure we've all had female encounters.
We have, and she won't mind me saying it's nothing serious, but the female downstairs who appears to be in my life, has also offered her to come on the podcast tonight. I said no, but she wanted to come on to share some female sort of insight into this. But I told her that me, Harry, and Bailey, we know what we're talking about. So
we got it covered.
We've got it covered.
We've got all the riz we need. Just down with the kids. Well, let's start off. I think that one of the best cars for getting women excited would be a Mazda MX-5, surprisingly. Because if you think about it, it's got everything you need. It's got the thrill, it's got the lightness and the nimbleness of the car. And also the main important one is the roof going down in the summer. So if you do have a summer date, that is the perfect car to pick them up.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I was going to say that a car that I have also owned is probably a good choice as well, which is the BMW E46. Because although it's getting on a bit now, it still looks as fresh as the day it was made. It is a great car in its own right, and also solely because it is a BMW, and I think it's a little bit more exciting than the 1 Series BMW, but solely because it's a BMW, the girls love it, right? So, yes. Like, my mate's girlfriend, she loved the car more than she liked me, do you know what I mean? Like my mate would be like, "Oh, Matty's coming round, like, oh, is she picking us up in the Beamer?" And like, my mate would try to explain to his girlfriend that the Beamer, you're hyping up the Beamer too much. It's 23 years old, but she's like, "Yeah, I know, but it's a BMW." So really, if you've got the badge, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that is all that matters, because whenever you talk to someone that doesn't really know anything about cars, I mean, I'm pretty rubbish, to be honest, but anyone that's even worse than me, they just look at the badge. So if you have a BMW, even if it's like 50 years old,
I
mean, maybe a 50-year-old one would be pretty cool, actually. Even if it's 20 years old, they don't care.
Like,
well, it's like a main brand, isn't it? So it's like they're popular, well known, and everyone that... A lot of girls, when they think of a BMW, they think it's a classy sort of saloon, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, honestly, I get ripped from me Saxo, right? Like, I've been told it looks like a Only Fools and Horses car, etc., etc. But then if I come round in a BMW with the arches rusting and things like that, like, no one's asked, you know what I mean? Because it's a BMW. You know, who cares if it's got structural issues? It's a BMW. So, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which car I'd pick, actually. I'd probably... I guess I'd just say anything with a well-known badge on it. Anything Audi, Mercedes, BMW, anything like that, which kind of, you know, says,
I think it depends on as well. I think it depends on the type of person, because you could go the usual route, 1 Series, Corsa, Golf GTI, but if you wanted like maybe a different caliber, Hyundai Coupe, Honda Civic, I think they're all things that would get juices flowing, you know what I mean?
A Mazda MX-5 as well on the list, I think.
Mini Cooper, of course.
Well, I was waiting for you to bring this up, Harry, because incidentally, I was doing some research. I was doing some research into cars that have the most sex appeal, and according to the website confused.com. According to the website confused.com, the sexiest cars for attracting the males, that's the male sex, is the Mini. So you've got a couple of choices here. You could slice your penis off.
Oh, for God's sake.
You know, there's a few choices. I'll leave it to you what you want to do.
If I was going to choose an car for a date, for example, I'd definitely choose a Lamborghini. If it's going to be any car, because you think about it, a Lamborghini. You know, you say to a girl, I got a Lamborghini. I'll pick you up in 5. They'll be like, well, one, he's rich. That's already attractive. You know, I know what women like.
Yeah.
And also a Lamborghini, you know, is fast. It's expensive, and exciting. Yeah. And it makes a very good noise.
It has to be a Ferrari. A lot of them don't know what a Lamborghini is. Ferrari is the go-to if you're gonna go turn up in a sports car or a supercar. It's got to be a Ferrari. or an Aston Martin if you're going for someone like a little bit more classy, maybe.
Someone that's above the age of 50.
Yeah. if you're going for a Cougar, then James Bond, you can turn up looking like a misogynist. Yeah.
Nice.
Brilliant. Now, what would this is another good question for you lads. What would be? So we've got the car established now. Now, what would you do as a date, a Valentine's Day in your Lamborghini, or Harry? You said what was it? One of the main brands. And Matty, you would do it in your
I'm not exactly sure
E46.
which one I'd go for. Actually, I should probably make that choice. That's a really difficult one. You know what? I know that it wouldn't appeal to some girls, but I'd probably want to go for like something quite heavily modified, like a drift car, like a BMW,
Really, yeah.
like an E46, like drift build or something.
E46 drifted Crosby Beach.
I think that'd just be like
That'd be cool.
something a bit unique, you know. It'd be
Yeah.
something
To be fair, I have to
surprising.
agree with that, because a turbo on a car, you know, when you get that sort of delay, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus, that's a lot more exciting than anything else in the world.
Exactly. And, you know, I think the kind of rawness of those cars is a bit scary. And especially
Yeah.
someone that's not a car person, it's even more scary.
Let's
You know,
go.
when
Let's
everything's
go to the
rattling
beach,
around
love.
and
Get them wheel
popping
arches a
and
bit more
banging.
rusty.
That sounded like a euphemism, but I don't think it was. Anyway. What would I do? I think I'd drive on the beach. That'd be a sick idea.
Can we move it on? Because I may have gave a few examples of cars with sex appeal, but if you really want to win at life, I have the perfect vehicle that is...
This is the ultimate climax of this journey, no pun intended.
This is the ultimate vehicle to
Go on.
get you where you need to be in more ways than one. And it is simply
Especially in more holes than one as well. But go on.
Okay, alright.
it is a Citroen Berlingo, a Transit Connect, a Vauxhall combo, because...
No, it's not.
Hear me out, right? Hear me out, and I can speak from experience here. Girls love to buy shit, furniture, fucking whatever, but obviously if they can't drive or they own a Fiat 500 or something, then they have no ways or means in getting these nice lamps that they've bought from Swansea or wherever, off Marketplace or wherever.
That is
They have no
true.
way of getting these things home.
Yeah.
In steps the man with the van. You've borrowed it from work or you've hired it from Arnold Clark or whatever, and you are there.
No matter, you own it. You're the man, remember?
Yeah, well, I'm the man.
You
Sorry,
own
I
your van.
own it. Well, in my part of the country, we stole it, but and you bring the van, you pick up the goods, and later on that evening, the goods are delivered. The other goods, yeah. So
I'm surprised,
God.
Matty, that the top vehicle on that site isn't the Nissan Townstar.
the Nissan. How could I forget? Yeah, the Nissan
should have been the Nissan
Townstar,
Townstar.
and Well, I don't know. It depends. Yeah.
I think I prefer the Nissan Townstar over
Yeah.
the Citroen.
Is there anything else to say, or is that kind of it? We've kind of established the go-to car is a van.
But yeah, we can.
if you want to attract the opposite sex.
I think the girls would be proud of us. What did you say? We've rizzed it. So
We've
Yeah,
we've
I
done
think we've nailed it.
what we've done is
think we really
studied risology and succeeded and
Wow.
graduated from it.
we are the
Congratulations.
Rizzle Kicks.
Bro's the Wizard of Oz.
Don't.
Riz bang bang.
Ooh. I'm dying a little bit here. My stomach's kind
Right.
of turning in on
Well,
itself.
that's sorted out. Then we hope that you've had a good Valentine's Day, whether you're single or not. I know this is like end of the month, but we hope that you've had a good Valentine's Day, and
if
hopefully
you
you've
haven't,
taken our advice.
If you haven't,
Yeah,
there's
for
always
next year,
next
take
year.
our advice.
Yeah, there's always next year.
Well, I think that wraps it up, lads.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug your social medias in well, Harry, if you want to go first, actually, because you obviously do music and things, so you can plug all that stuff in.
Well, okay then. Here's a selfish plug. Elsham on Spotify or all other platforms. I make dance music. You might hate it. You might love it. I don't know. This is the worst plug anyone's ever done. But yeah, go check it out. Bailey, link it down below.
I will.
Please.
Don't worry.
Please.
And obviously, Harry, you work with us on Car Culture, so...
I do. And
yeah,
I'll probably
see more
plug it here and there. I mean, what we need to do is... sorry, I know I'm going completely off topic. This is the outro. We need to do some episodes on the Mazda and the Mini, because I am really tempted to start modifying the Mini. And if I do, that means we can make a series out of it.
Yeah,
just like modifying it.
Which is what we're kind of doing, isn't it? So
Yeah. And I'm... yeah, we do have that one episode coming up, hopefully soon. But, I think I'm going to check my insurance and see how much they're going to charge me if I do some mods. So if it's affordable, then why not?
Definitely, mate.
But anyway, I'll let you get on with the outro.
Thank you, Harry, for that. Matty, do you want to plug your socials?
Yes, obviously I co-present this podcast every month, but if you would like to see me on a more... Well, actually, no, I never upload, so it's not a more full-time basis, but if you'd like to see my channel, I'm Matty's Cars on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Matty's Cars YT. And if you'd like to see pictures of me in my personal life with friends and sometimes family, then you can follow my personal account, MattsGram99.
It's my favourite
Thank you,
page on
Matty.
Instagram.
That was the most normal one you've ever said, which is
well, that's because I
cool.
haven't posted this month on me personal, so I kind of had to just do a generic sort of outro. Yeah,
that's fair enough. And obviously, if you want to follow us and support us, subscribe to us on here on the channel.
Remember the name now.
Yes, Car Culture. Obviously, that's a very easy name to remember.
Yeah,
that's why we changed it.
What's your TikTok called? It's different, isn't it?
I don't think we need to talk about the TikTok. It's different. I can't remember it. It's something Car Culture I think it's Car Culture YT on TikTok, and Instagram is Car Culture _YT because it wouldn't let us do the other one. And if like Matty said, if you want to follow me on my personal account, like seeing me doing things like walking around in a dressing gown on an airfield, then you can. It's on Bayley Prickett 27.
Showing off your muscles and
page.
that.
Hardly. But that does it all for this month for the podcast. We do hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.